offense too, or like I think that was last night too. When he just passing up wide open 12-footers when they down by 1 or 2 points. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is gonna be a close game. It's gonna be a tight one.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the whole thing is like you said with ATL, like they're a young team, but they got skill. Like they can score. You look at guys like Clint Capella and Trey Young, and in all honesty, Clint Capella's holding it down in the post to be up against somebody like Embiid, and then when you got
because he's too damn little for Embiid. Only thing is Capella probably, I had to look at his numbers. He probably not averaging his, he averaged about 15 boards during the regular season. I don't think he averaging that in this series. But did y'all see that damn alley-oop John Collins did? Trey Young, he smacked the shit out of Embiid in the face. Embiid was mad as hell. That's what your big ass get.
That's another thing. They got players that can score, as opposed to just going to 1 or 2. Because again, I don't know if Ben Simmons can really, what I'm saying, close the game out. But I know Trey Young can. Again, I don't know. I think that they have an advantage at Philly being at home. And you just saw what would you call it? Like a glimpse of what is to come, because they barely beat them. They barely beat the Hawks at home. So yes, they got that going for them. But at the same time, like, if you're Trey Young, you're thinking to yourself, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm young. I'm trying to make a name for myself. You see all them bombs he be dropping, like he's Curry, Damian Lillard, and the boy is like, what, this is his 3rd season?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he's making a name for himself. He wants to make a name for himself. He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder, and he's just gonna come out there and play. I know it, but I don't want to guarantee an ATO win because they're not at home. If they were at home, you saw what happened last night. Like I said, I couldn't even guarantee that. But I don't know. I like that young team. Team. I like Embiid. I like Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons, if he could get his mid-range game at least, not even the 3, just the mid-range.
Exactly. He don't even try to shoot.
He don't want no parts of shooting the basketball. Every time you see him and he wide open, he don't want no parts of shooting no basketball. Zero.
That's what killed Denver. That's what killed the Nuggets. They was taking too many unnecessary shots that wasn't going in for them.
Right.
They wasn't making enough shots, from the 3 or even mid range. They just kept shooting, and they shot the way out of that series. So.
Right, and they couldn't stop Phoenix
at all.
But I think at the end of the day, win or lose Game 7, this is a win-win for the Hawks this season. Nobody, what are they, 4th, 5th seed?
4th seed, I believe.
Nobody expected them to be top 5 in the East. Mm-hmm. You can't say that. Nobody expected them to be in the second round of the playoffs, forcing a Philadelphia team to a Game 7. So now, and the lose for Philly is a lose-lose. We know they're going to get talked about. They should have made the James Harden trade earlier in the year. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Is it ready time to blow up the process? So we know. And now that Clippers and Jazz game, oh my God.
Hey, man.
Dude.
If you'd have told me Paul George would come up clutch in 2 games in the playoffs in a row,
if you would have told me, I would have been sitting here watching Jordan Clarkson drop 20 in 1 quarter, cooking. 20 in 1 quarter. They up by 25. And Terrence Mann is going to end with 39, and they came back and won. No. Bro, that game, I'm watching crazy. That, and they made Donovan Mitchell made 7 threes, or if not more than that. I know at one point he was 7 for 10 for 3. Yeah, he was hooping. Bogdanovich firing threes. Like I said, Jordan Clarkson had a 20-point quarter, and I think he didn't score no more in the game. I think, or something.
It's a couple of things I want to say about that game that happened. Right, so the Clippers came out with the smallest lineup possible. You got Batum playing center. I forget who they had at the 4. Paul George. You got Terrence Mann out there.
Was it Morris?
Yeah, Morris, Paul George, Terrence Mann, and Reggie Jackson. Right.
That's who started.
That's who started. And Rudy Gobert is a problem. Okay. I don't want to hate on Rudy Gobert, but I gotta tell you the truth. All NBA my ass.
I believe, bro. He's not. I don't even want to say nobody not worth their money, but he's not. He can't even give you a 10 points 4 games in a series.
He is an ancient remnant. Like Okay, so the reason that they started getting so successful going to the basket is because you got Batum who can shoot threes. So he's pulling Rudy Gobert out of the paint. Rudy Gobert is really on the floor to play defense. He's not going to take a bunch of shots or anything like that. He's on the floor to protect the basket.
Offensive rebound and put back. That's going to be his buckets at best.
But when they go down on the offensive end, he can't punish somebody who's smaller than him. He should have been in the post. They should have been feeding him the ball with Batum on him, and he should have just been throwing the ball in the hoop.
Right.
In the hoop.
Or drawing fouls, something.
Doing something and that's a coaching adjustment too that you gotta take advantage of that. If they're gonna punish him and make him guard 3-pointers, Quinn Snyder needs to do the reverse and get some more post play going. And then another thing about that game, the Jazz, they were strong in that whole game, and then they just started to crumble, and that was another coaching thing that I noticed. They didn't come together. They once the Clippers made their rally in the third, they didn't come together at all. They just kind of fell apart. You was just watching them fall apart. They just turnovers, making mistakes, taking bad shots.
And it's once Jordan Clarkson wasn't cooking with Donovan Mitchell no more, nobody else gave Donovan Mitchell no help. Donovan Mitchell was still firing the whole game to the end.
Right.
Once Jordan Clarkson stopped scoring, it's it was tough. And that is the thing. He really don't. He is the only. He damn near got to be the facilitator, the scorer, everything. The 3-point shooter. He got to do everything.
Well, I got some friends that, and I want to hear your take on this too, man. I got some friends that's Jazz fans, and so they say that Gobert is not the problem. They have to re-sign Mike Conley, and that injuries were the issue. Would you agree that injuries held them back more so than anything else?
I don't think so, and I don't even think re-signing Mike Conley might be the answer to that. Yeah. When you think about what happened last night, when you said they started to crumble apart, it's all. I think it all comes down to experience. You look at who the Clippers have; they got a bunch of veterans who done been in this scenario, who done been in the playoffs, who done been in Game 6, Game 7, scenarios. Donovan Mitchell don't know about that. He's a hooper. He can play. He don't know nothing about that. You look at Rudy Gobert. He can't even score the ball efficiently as a big man. No, you don't have any type of support out there for Donovan Mitchell, because Donovan Mitchell, if he's carrying the team all 4 quarters, I don't think, as much as I hate to say this, he ain't no LeBron, because I don't think LeBron is that efficient either. But you know what I'm saying? He's not able to carry the weight all 4 quarters. You need somebody out there that can help him. I mean, Mike Conley, he's proven to be that, but he's not that it factor, I don't think. When you're going up against guys who have a history of making big time plays or not, like Paul George, and Nicholas Batum, and the Rondo play last night.
He got some minutes, but he didn't play like that. No,
They're
going more so with Reggie Jackson and Pat Beverly right now.
Right, but Pat Beverly, that's another one. I'm saying though, these guys all have experience. They all have experience. They know how to
Game 3.
Right.
Exactly. They know what they're doing. The Jazz don't know nothing about that, so they need to get somebody in there that either has experience or that can help carry that weight with some scoring. Gobert can provide some defense and rebounding because he's taller than 90% of the league, but he's not going to provide you no offense. He's not going to score.
Yeah,
you need somebody out there that can help Donovan Mitchell. When he starts, sort of slowing down, somebody that can pick it up. When Donovan Mitchell is at forward, you got somebody else that's at the second speed. Right. Donovan Mitchell comes down the speed and third speed, somebody that kick it up in the third gear. Right. And they're kind of helping each other out, because as far as scoring out, that's what they did. It's like Manny just said. They didn't, the Clippers didn't really win that game. It was more like the Jazz lost it because
that comeback was wild. But
it was definitely like the Jazz lost it. And on top of that, what I say is they in an interesting position just looking at them going into the offseason, because they're gonna keep Gobert. They pay him all that money. I don't think he's going anywhere. But if it was a trade on the floor for him, depending on what it is, I might seriously consider it. I think he needs to get into the gym and figure out some offensive post moves. You don't have to become a shooter, but it's time for you to do a little bit more scoring, because
you need at least a turn over the shoulder hook.
Right. If they're gonna re-sign Mike Conley, they're not gonna have any cap room. So, and nobody is coming to Utah as a free agent, really. So that's another problem they have.
Now that I think about it, Mike Conley might have a little bit of that, because I totally forgot he was a threat when it came to that 3-point contest. What was it, last year? He was a threat. He can shoot the ball. So Mike Conley can't shoot the ball. It might have something to do with the
one time.
Oh shit.
Hold on. We're still good. We were still talking while you were
frozen.
While you were frozen. So we're still good. We're still in a good space. I won't worry about it.
We still rolling?
Yeah, we still rolling. Go ahead, bro.
I think glaring things that I think Utah could use. Re-signing Mike Conley wouldn't be a terrible idea, but like you said, the cap would be pretty full. I think they need another backup big that's a decent player. It's a real good role player. But even more so, I think they need a tweener guard forward like an Aaron Gordon, and I'm just throwing names out there, type players. Aaron Gordon, Jeremy Grant, Will Barton, somebody who could get out there and get the, give him some help on offense and in that transition and can give you a consistent 15. Donovan Mitchell needs somebody to give him consistent 15 a night. Jordan Clarkson, he had a great year this year, but we see how inconsistent he could be in a game like that. And shit like that happens, man. I love that game he had yesterday because he was cooking. He had scored like 17 straight points, bro. I'm watching this shit like, what the fuck, Jordan Clarkson? Right. It reminded me when he was like, Kobe told me to stop going to the rim like a light-skinned nigga. I'm like, this dude hooping, bro. So shit like that happens, man. You won 6th man of the year, excellent year.
Right.
But I think they do need they need another spark plug, a Jamal Crawford type player. They need somebody who can get out there and just spark the team when Donovan Mitchell not out there too, or whatever.
Right. So, Manny, we're gonna have you pick the rest of the playoffs, man. You let us know how you see it shaking out. So we'll start with the West since we know what the Western Conference matchup is. We got the Clippers and the Suns. Who you see going to the finals?
From the West, let's talk about this for a second because it all depends on what Chris Paul, what ends up happening with Chris Paul.
We can jump into that. So for everybody who don't know, Chris Paul got caught up in COVID protocols. He had COVID. He is vaccinated, and this is the crazy part about this, right? So my mom actually
positive test.
Yeah, the positive test. My mom actually works in Arizona. Used to work at these vaccine pods, right? And so one day the Suns came in to the vaccine pod to like help and give out stuff and to get the vaccines. So I already knew he was vaccinated from before because she was there at the same time. They happened to be there. So while everybody else was freaking out, I didn't say anything about it, obviously. But while everybody was freaking out, I know he already got the vaccine. So his layoff is going to be shorter than what it would have been.
So we should see CP3.
Yeah, he might miss because game 1 is Sunday or tomorrow.
Let's go. Let's say
game 1 is tomorrow, so he might miss game 1. But I think he should be good to go for game 2.
Exactly. I was still kind of hoping he would play tomorrow, but I low-key haven't seen anything regarding his tests because I did see that if he was able to get two tests on different days, on like two separate days, right, 24 hours apart. If he was able to test negative for COVID, he would be able to play on Sunday.
Right.
But I don't think. I mean, it's already Saturday. Yeah. What, 3:30? Yeah. So I don't think that's.
I don't think he's playing tomorrow. But game two.
I mean, even
Kawhi gonna get in this series though. I hope so. I feel like Kodak Black. I hope so.
Well, it started off with he had a knee sprain. Then it turned into they think he tore his ACL. Yeah. Now we don't know what's going on. So Kawhi
I heard it was real swollen.
Kawhi is just a whole question mark. And knowing his history with injuries, he not gonna play. He just not even gonna put himself at risk if he not.
Right, I forgot Kawhi do not play them games. He gonna be like, no.
My thing is, I have to go with Phoenix on that one because if Chris Paul did give us a scare earlier in the playoffs where he what was it? He hurt his ACL or his shoulder. Fell wrong. His shoulder. That's what it was. There you go. Yeah, he gave us a little bit of a scare, but that didn't stop him.
Right.
You know, he's durable. I mean, I guess statistically throughout his career, he has not been. He's always encountered some problems, right? When he was with LA, he had some injuries that just didn't allow him to play in the playoffs. So if he plays in game 2, I mean, I have to. If he's ready by game 2, I have to go with Phoenix, because even if Kawhi makes it back out onto the court, Kawhi is not the problem in LA.
Right.
I don't think Kawhi is a problem in LA. I think it's Paul George. I mean, yes, he just had 2 great games back to back, but again, statistically, the track records show Candace gonna do it. And he, you know,
so this is only a matter of time before he turned back into George Paul,
huh? That's what I'm saying. It's just like we just got to wait and see, because again, Kawhi is not the problem. We saw what Kawhi could do with that well organized, I might add, Raptors team, right? We saw what he could do. But now that he's playing with somebody that's like, I would call him a liability, because yes, he just had 2 great games, but it's like you can't count on him you can't rely on him, really. You can't. Right. You if you do, you're a little, how would you call it? Just delusional, because Paul George has shown us something else. I mean, I love Paul George
for so long. We can't count on you. Now you did something nice twice, and that don't.
We can't take that away from him. I love Paul George with Danny Granger in Indiana. I loved him. But ever since them days when he was with OKC, even in OKC, he had some great games. He had a good performance. But ever since he got to LA, I feel like he hasn't been that Paul George we're used to. And I think I saw a quote where he said that he took it back to what was it? He was going back to being
Indiana Paul George or something like that.
Something like that, exactly. And I'm like, that's what you really need. I mean, a lot of people forget how great Paul George was. He played against a Miami LeBron, and again, I'm not a fan of LeBron.
Too. Yeah, Paul George was good. You know, he been off ever since he changed his number from 24 to 13 and passed CJ Miles that ball and then blamed people for not passing it back.
Yes.
Yes. That was the downfall of Paul George.
He was sick on that.
He passed CJ Miles the ball, talking about why you ain't passing back.
Why did you pass it originally, son?
Hey.
And my thing is, for all the reasons like you just said, if Kawhi is really seriously hurt, and I got a funny feeling like you reminded me, Kawhi don't play them damn injury games.
Right.
So I got a feeling he's not gonna come back, or he's gonna come back and he's not gonna be able, or it's gonna be a little too late in the series. So if we get Chris Paul by game 2, and Chris Paul and D Book are playing how they've been playing, and it's more of a storyline there to me now, the more I think about it. He used to be a Clipper. He left the organization, and it was kind of bittersweet. And we know how Chris Paul is. He'll love to get on their ass. Oh, yeah. He'll love to get on all of their ass. Patrick Beverly, all of them. And I can't count on Paul George by himself. I can't do it, bro. You got to show me. Right. Now, you hoop, and you show me. I give you all your kudos. I give you all your brownie points. But you got to show me.
All right.
I don't. The way this Phoenix team been playing, and it's gonna be a hell of a series though. Cause I'ma like the chirping between Jay Crowder and Morris and all of that.
Yeah. That's another young team.
Phoenix. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. It's gonna be some nice. That's gonna be a nice. You know.
Y'all skating. I gotta hold y'all to it. So man, you gotta pick a team and pick a number of games.
I'm going with Phoenix. Oh, a number of games? That's a hard one. I mean, as of right now, I'm going with Phoenix in 6.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna give them the benefit Phoenix of the doubt. 5 or 6.
You know, I agree with all the points y'all made, and I did this the last time too, right? I told you, y'all all picked. I think y'all picked no, it wasn't the Nuggets. It was with the Jazz. They picked him and our other guest that we had on Taco. Both of them picked the Jazz in I think it was 7 or 6 or something like that.
Against the Clippers?
And I picked I picked the Clippers in 6.
I don't remember that.
And this is crazy because I am the biggest Donovan Mitchell fan. Like I enjoy Donovan Mitchell. I've been on Donovan Mitchell since he came in the league. Still mad at the Pistons for not drafting him.
Dude is raw. We gotta
I think Donovan Mitchell, but I still pick the Clippers in 6 just because I just think it's their year. I think it's their year. I think it's their time. And as much as I do like the Suns and I see the matchup problems, and I see, how they can win, I'm going to have to take the Clippers in 7 with no Kawhi, just because you got a feeling when you see somebody like Terrence Mann, who nobody knew nothing about, and shout out to Jerry West for being the greatest finder of talent.
Florida State, right?
In history. In history. Okay. Shout out to Jerry West.
And mind you, his scoring last night was his career high for college and NBA combined, ever. Yeah.
So when you got somebody like Terrence Mann that's stepping up, and then you see when Kawhi went down, normally when a superstar goes down, you see how a team responds. They responded by winning 2 straight games and having nothing but resiliency. And it wasn't like they just came out and dominated. Those was games they had to fight. Yeah. So this is different than the Clippers team from last year, where they just rolled over after Denver punched them in the mouth. So I don't see them rolling over. I think this is going to be a dogfight series. I'm gonna take it 7. And again, I want to pick the Suns. I want to see Chris Paul finally get to a finals and have that matchup. But it's the same thing as last time, bro. I don't know what it is. Something is telling me the Clippers are going to the finals. I don't know what it is. Even with just Paul George. Because even Paul George took his game to a whole different area.
That first game, what he had, 37?
He wasn't even hooping like how he was hooping game 6 or 7.
Rebounds or some shit?
He went crazy. He was not hooping like that in the first couple games of the series at all. I don't know what it is. And Ty Lue, got to give Ty Lue his props too. And this is going to bring me back to that Doc Rivers topic because you said something about Doc Rivers I want to touch on, man. Ty Lue is a great coach. And Doc Rivers, I'm sorry, I love you, you're overrated. For 2 reasons. 1, you should not be in a dogfight with the Sixers against the Hawks. And you should not be refusing to take Ben Simmons out at the end of the games. That's number 1. Number 2, if they get put out by the Hawks, this is now another team where Doc Rivers has had a ton of talent that has not made it to where they're supposed to go.
Dating back to damn near the 90s. That's what I'm saying. And I love Doc Rivers, the nuance, the legend of his coaching, what he did in Boston overall. But we can't ignore that there.
Right. So,
But he's still one of the best coaches around because Van Gundy, all of y'all, I ain't going to lie. The one you just left, Detroit and Pelicans, I don't fuck with you, my boy. I ain't going to lie.
We going to get it in a second.
I ain't going to lie.
So, Manny, now that we got the West, you got the Suns at 6, you got the Suns in the finals. How do you see the rest of the East shaking out? I know you pick Atlanta. You hoping that Atlanta wins that game, but talk about Nets Bucks tonight.
Nets, that's an easy one.
Easy money sniper.
Yeah.
Shout out to KDs.
Here's the thing. I think, yes, they're even 3-3, right?
Yep.
But the difference here is that the games, at least for this series against Milwaukee, that Brooklyn has won can be accredited to Kevin Durant.
Right.
The games that Milwaukee has won cannot be accredited to Giannis's performance or can be credited.
Can be accredited to his lack of free throw shooting.
Exactly. So I don't think. And then we just saw that performance.
Did it take him 3 minutes to shoot free throw?
Right, bro. No, that's the thing. And he has he doesn't. What do they say? What do kids nowadays be saying? He don't got a bag. Like he don't got no type of moves. Like if he beats you with that first step, that's all he got to do. But if he
and my thing is that's something mental to me because his whole career until this playoffs, these last 10 games, nobody really said. We know he ain't the overall free throw shooter, but he haven't been taking forever like he is now. So what mentally didn't switch recently or
he know he can't make free throws.
You know what I'm saying? Like
he know he can't make free throws and he know that Kevin Durant is on the other side of that court and he wants no parts of that, man.
Yeah, because I don't usually see Giannis like that, but that interview he had the other night after KD had that damn near 50-point triple-double, he just sounded down and out. He was like, yeah, he's the greatest player in the world right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, Giannis,
I heard Charles Barkley say, after you get your ass whooped like that, you're not supposed to sit there and congratulate the other man because that's what Giannis was doing.
Right.
The Bucks was doing. they were sitting there like, damn, KD's nice, KD's a man. Da, da, da. Like, no, you're supposed to sit there and go, we'll see y'all next game. That's what we said.
Yeah, we just got to do better. We got to play harder.
So, yeah, so I think it's a lot of mental game with him because yes, he can't guard KD as much as people want to. He can't guard KD.
Yeah, it's not a human on the face of this planet that can guard KD.
That's the problem.
And you also got to think if I was Giannis in this series specifically, I would be giving him my all. I would be working and yes, taking a little more shots. And yes, he can shoot the ball every now and then, not consistently.
No. I don't want Manny. I don't want to see that man shoot no more 3-pointers.
Yeah, because going to the cup, he shoot like damn near 65% for the series. Yep. So he need to keep straight cup working it.
Don't let me see him shoot no more.
Yeah, it's like my thing is with the Bucks too. To me, Giannis, I ain't gonna say he don't got the help he needs. Chris Middleton not that it guy. Drew Holiday is right on the cusp of that. But Drew Holiday not going to close the game. Chris Middleton not going to close the game. Giannis not going to close the game. No, not against Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's one of those like he don't got the help he got. That's not exactly what I want to say, but yeah, to me he need a like they said they need to treat Giannis as if he's a big man. And he need to pair him with somebody who can ball handle and kind of do all of that and take the leverage off of him a bit.
Hey, but we gonna let you finish, Manny. Bradley Beal.
Could have been records.
I mean, that would be a hell of a trade. That would be a hell of a trade.
Who could they trade?
You
give him Middleton and maybe a pick. You got to keep Drew Holiday if you go.
No. Bradley Beal is worth way more than just one trade and a pick. You got to give him a couple guys and a couple picks
but like he said, you got to try to shoot to keep because that's not gonna work. Just Bradley Beal and Giannis, they still need somebody to ball handle and defend them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
You got to keep Drew Holiday at least. I mean, it might end up being that you have to give up. If you make a Beal trade, you might have to give up DiVincenzo, Middleton, and a one.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I mean, and Bradley Beal I think he's definitely worth it. So, but I think we're thinking too far ahead because let's think back for a second. Because I mean, again, this series is over tomorrow. I'm just putting it out. It's over.
Well, I got a feeling they're gonna fire Budenholzer.
Yeah, I didn't think his job. Bucks coach.
And I don't even feel like it's his fault, honestly, but he done had the team in the first place in the last, 2-3 years.
They ain't even made a conference final.
Right, they done flamed out every year, so they gonna be like, get your ass out of here.
Even when they had Eric Bledsoe, like I would say at his prime, Eric Bledsoe was nice.
Drew Bledsoe?
He was nice.
He was nice when he was getting cooked by Scary Terry.
Okay, all right. Not like that,
barbecue chicken, man. He was getting out there that fillet, snatch back tween, cross.
No, I'm not saying he was that guy. I'm not saying he was that guy. But I think, I mean, at the 2 or even at the 1, he definitely provided to a young Giannis. He could have, But again, this shit is over tomorrow, and
so that fought through injury too.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I liked him. I mean, I wasn't like his biggest fan. Like, oh yeah, that's my boy. Nah, But I was like, oh okay, there go. I know who that is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen 13 points the other night. That's cool. Right. But yeah, it's over tomorrow night. I don't even think Harden's gonna play tomorrow. I mean, I know
they play tonight. They play tonight.
They play tonight.
They play tonight.
He gonna play tonight. He gonna get him a good about 16 to 20. I'm telling you.
All right.
Is he clear to play?
Have about 30, 38.
What'd you say?
Is Harden clear to play?
Yeah, he played last 2 games.
I know he did, but I think he was what do you call it? I mean, what did you just say? He just had like what? A couple points, not even.
He played better. He played better this last game than he did the first game. It's gonna be a continual improvement.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, if he don't play, I feel like they'll fuck around and lose.
Right.
Because I saw his performance 2 games ago when he was throwing all them turnovers and
he played much better this game. And that's another thing. All the Bucks wins have been very unimpressive. Exactly. It don't have no weight or momentum to it. No
like
feeling
when
of that.
KD shot 9 for 25, but
right.
you don't. Like, just,
y'all won a game. Y'all won a game 86-83. Like we still playing in the 90s.
Right.
But we've seen what he could do. He could score damn near 50 points on less than 23 attempts. You know. So that's you got to give the man credit. You got to give the man credit.
I ain't gonna lie, KD might go for 40 tonight. Shit. That man damn near had 50, 17, and 10.
Yeah.
I see it happen.
Simply amazing. Slim Reaper, for real.
So you got the Nets and the Suns potentially. So who's the NBA champ when we wrap this all up?
And that's another thing. I mean, by then, Chris Paul should be well and back. And if, God forbid, any injury has occurred upon him, I think they're going to give him a good matchup. I just think the Nets still have too much power on them. You know what I'm saying?
Kyrie should be back.
I would say I think the Nets win that in 6 or 7.
Yeah, exactly.
If that, for real. Phoenix might get 2 games. Like I ain't even just and. I feel like it'd be a hell of a matchup, but if Kyrie came back and all, I just feel like the KD alone, nobody's gonna be able to stop him.
I don't know who they have on their team that's guarding
him. That's the scariest part.
They could try to throw Jay Crowder at him if they want to.
That's all you're gonna do is try to throw Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson when you want to leave somebody on the island like that, and I only saying that because it's size, and.
They're going to have to try to trap him and get the ball.
No, it ain't no.
He definitely can't check him.
They're going to have to try to trap him and get the ball out of his hands.
That's going to be scary hours.
Another thing is Devin Booker's defense ain't been exposed just yet. But it's going to be a lot of switching on Devin Booker.
I mean, that's another guy, though. Devin Booker showed us he can drop 40 easily.
Yeah, he can score. The problem is they're gonna be picking on him on defense, right? So that's kind of like the ebb and flow of that, right? It's like, you're not gonna be able to get off. You're gonna be too tired to trying to guard. Every time, whoever guarding Devin Booker, come over here and send me a screen.
Get this
right.
Kyrie, James Harden, it don't matter. Somebody come over here and say
that's right. And don't let James Harden start feeling good going to that cup, getting fouls on DeAndre Ayton and all that.
But that'd be a heck of a final series. You got Chris Paul versus James Harden. The narratives and the storylines there.
Yeah, that would be wild, bro.
Is wild.
That's the only thing I got going for them for the Suns is that Chris Paul mentality. But again, the Nets just have it. They just have a deep team. You know. Yeah. And I think Kyrie's gonna be ready by the time the finals come around. He's gonna be more than ready. I don't think there was any fractures or anything that happened with his ankle.
He just had a sprain.
Right, exactly. So
I think Phoenix Nets in 6 or 7 though. Because now that I think about it, Phoenix got a good ass home crowd. They could get 2 games. Yes. They could fuck around and get 2 games.
That was my thing. That was my thing. That's what I was trying to say though. That, like, yes, KD could score. Yes, Harden could score once he gets his rhythm going. And yes, Kyrie can definitely score. He'll give you 20 easily.
Right.
But Devin Booker definitely can do it. Chris Paul can definitely, orchestrate the plays and, make something happen for the rest of his team. Chris Paul will have 13 assists, no problem, and he'll only have 2 points. Just as long as the rest of the team is getting involved and they scoring well, he's okay with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, they don't have KD. They don't have Harden. They don't have a Kyrie Irving, but they do have, somebody that has fresh young lungs, and they got somebody that's out there like a floor general, the best floor general in my opinion that we've seen since probably Magic, in all honesty.
So
it's gonna be interesting.
We're looking forward to the conference finals coming up and then the finals after that. But we got some more NBA news. Stan Van Gundy, fired. He is no longer the head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. And, last year, people and Kamal, I hope you watch this because I'm talking to you. People in our group chat was like, oh, give Stan a chance. And, he's not that bad. And it's just the Pistons. No, Stan Van Gundy is... Keep that man away from me.
I'm not going to be here.
Keep that man away from me. And it showed the way the Pelicans played this year. That should have been a playoff team. It's no...
And I think, Stan Van Gundy, definitely has a legacy. don't got to worry about shit. To be honest, he's Stan Van Gundy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody remembers his brother, but everybody knows Stan. You know what I'm saying? So his legacy is solidified. So I think
he is a good call, but from my understanding, he's an asshole or just too extra and shit. And I don't like what he did to my Detroit Pistons. You had us on some bullshit. That's why I don't like you. I don't give a fuck. You had our team on some bullshit. You was president of the team on some bullshit. It was some bullshit. Damn it.
The Pistons got a lot of problems though.
Hey, we're not here to talk about the Pistons.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why I'm mad. Yeah, my Pistons on some bullshit.
Right. He's the reason we're in the position that we're in now.
He had Dwight Howard and them on some bullshit in them finals.
Oh yeah, when he decided. Oh man, when he decided to start Jameer Nelson after Rafer Alston was going crazy.
You big dummy. You listening to Jameer motherfucking Nelson.
Because he want to start the finals. Boy, I don't care what you want.
Skip to my Lou hooping.
I don't care what you want. You're not about to mess our chemistry up, nigga. You about to sit over here on this bench, and when we tell you to go in, you go in.
Like you out there really hooping Jameer Nelson.
That team, boy, Rafer Alston was cooking with that team, and they really brought Jameer Nelson back. That man didn't play a game in the playoffs, but now he get to start in the finals. Okay.
Right. Come on, right. Man. Yeah. That's a bullshit ass call on. You know, I don't know what he was smoking.
I'm not playing with you, boy.
Yeah, I don't know what he was smoking, but regardless, I mean, it's done now. It's whatever. There was another coach. I think the Mavs coach, was it the head coach like that? We can
jump into that too. You touching on another topic. So Rick Carlisle stepped down on his own, decision. Right. So he basically said he was done with the organization and he's looking forward to his future coaching opportunities, which means he's not done coaching. He's just done coaching the Mavericks. I could see him with the Pelicans, Celtics maybe.
I don't.
Stan probably gonna get another job though, if we being honest.
Because they like doing that, but I could see Rick Carlisle getting another job, aka Jim Carrey.
Well, Rick Carlisle's definitely getting another job. He's gonna get whatever job he wants. I think if the Bucks don't win tonight, Budenholzer is gone, so he'll have his pick of Bucks job. I think the Jazz would test the waters to see if he would come coach their team, but they wouldn't fire Quinn Snyder. But they would test the waters. The Celtics. Pelicans, Toronto. Nick Nurse is still there. So he got some job options. Rick Carlisle's gonna get a job. Portland is the other team. Trailblazers looking for a coach. So,
but he just left the Mavs. The Mavs are still. I mean, maybe Porzingis isn't the best example, but when you look at Luka, like the Mavs team are still like rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? From their glory days, they're still rebuilding, and I feel like he didn't even want to be a part of that. So what makes you think he'd go to Boston where they also have some young guys, or even New Orleans where they definitely have a young squad?
Because New Orleans should have been a playoff team. Period. Right. They have playoff talent on that team. They should be a playoff team no matter what. So the Celtics are a playoff team.
So are the Mavs though. So were the Mavs.
But here's the two things that I think that are playing in the background of the Mavs. So you got Mark Cuban, who's a very domineering owner. He's probably one of the most domineering owners in the NBA. So he probably is very difficult to deal with. And then, one of the reports I was reading was saying that he brought this dude that used to be an ex-gambler in to be like their analytics guy or whatever. And he was listening to him about decisions instead of Rick Carlisle. So that was strike number 2. And then the third thing is that his relationship with Luka wasn't that good. And here's my thing about Luka Doncic, right?
Who Rick Carlisle relationship with him?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I'll admit this. I'll admit it. When Luka Doncic first came in the league, I was kind of like, oh, he's not going to be that guy. They just hyping him up. He's not going to be that guy. How many times have we heard this? He's not that guy. He's that guy. I'm admitting it. For all those in the group chat who don't believe me and all those at home.
That boy can hoop.
He can hoop. He's that guy. The problem is his mindset right now. And I think that's the issue. He has to realize, and it's going to take him getting some more lumps, that the way that he plays, he has the ball in his hands a lot, right? As does any guard. But every time they put somebody around him or deal with him, it's always some friction or some issues, is what I'm noticing. And it's very early in his career for this to be happening. Give you an example. Dennis Smith Jr. had an excellent rookie year. They draft Luka Doncic. Dennis Smith Jr. can't play no more. Kristaps Porzingis. It wasn't that Kristaps Porzingis couldn't play. It was that he was hurt all the time and he didn't want to play for New York anymore.
Right.
This season, Kristaps Porzingis was getting like 16 shots during the season, a game. He had like less than 8 or 9 in the playoffs. Luka is dribbling the air out of the ball. His numbers they're fantastic, they're great. But if you are taking all the shots and holding on to the ball too much, it's deflating your team around you. And it's not like Dallas has these uber great pieces, especially when you they got shooters. They got a bunch of shooters that they surrounded him. 3-and-D shooters that they surrounded him with. People got to get in the rhythm. You know what I'm saying? And it's great that you drop in 40-point, 50-point games. You know what I'm saying? That's fantastic. Maybe you dial your average back to 35, 30. And you give some of those shots to other people to get your teammates going. Now your team is coming with you. Because he's going to get his. So I just think he needs to, until he makes that adjustment in his mind and in his game and his play, I don't think he will take that next step. But you're hearing it from me first. He got it. He do got it. He's a great player, great young player that I look forward to watching. But he has to make that adjust. It's kind of like, and it's too early to compare, it's kind of like Russell Westbrook. He's a more finesse, talented version of Russell without the athleticism. But the mindset, his mindset is kind of the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, he going to go out there and get his. If they doubling him or they trapping him, he going to pass the ball. Or if it's not advantageous for him, he'll pass the ball. But mostly he going out to get his. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's his mindset, I think, that is the issue. And once he gets over that mindset, I think that will help. Because a coach like Rick Carlisle just don't walk away from a job he been at for years for no reason.
Right.
Something got to be going on.
That was his job until he didn't want it.
Right.
So, that was really what. Or if they just had an unexplainable 25-win year, some random shit.
And they've never had.
Exactly.
They've never had that. So.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And a lot of people forget Luka. Luka's younger than me. Luka's only 22.
He got time. Yeah, he got time to develop for sure.
Luka's young. You know what I'm saying? I think if
I could see him winning. I'm sorry, you go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say if I were to make that comparison, like E-Man said, the Russell Westbrook, the way you just described him to me, like he sounded like a young Kobe to me. You know how Kobe when he first came when he was Afro Kobe. And he lost.
That's a better comparison.
He lost Shaq. They said he was a ball hog. They said Kobe was a ball hog. They said he only cared about himself, and he was out there scoring 80 on the Raptors on a Wednesday night. Shit like that. So that's what Kobe had that mentality. Absolutely, Luka don't.
Yeah.
Not yet. I love Luka too.
Not like that.
Yeah, not like that. I think he's gonna go places. I think he's the future of the NBA for sure, 100%. But yeah, I do see that level of arrogance in him though. So.
And it's gonna be hard for him to play with another superstar with that mindset too. Like that's the thing, because especially in this league, right? We're seeing now it takes 2 or 3 superstars to win the championship. He's gonna have to get somebody else to come to the Mavs. If it's not Porzingis, which we don't know what's gonna happen with him, but if it's not Porzingis, you got to get somebody else. And you have to realize that y'all gonna have to balance each other out. And it's the one thing that I say LeBron has learned how to do since he lost to the Mavs in 2011. Okay. Sometimes you gotta be deferential. It's still gonna be about you. The media narrative is still gonna be about you. Everything else is still gonna be about you. But if you looked at LeBron's game, the way he played in 2011 versus the way he played in 2012, completely different, because he was starting to sacrifice a little more, give a little more here, give a little more there. They are running his system, but he's able to navigate that. And that's always been one of LeBron's strengths, is when he gets a great teammate, he's able to manage himself. He's still gonna do what he does. He's able to manage himself, but that other teammate is still able to shine. For example, everybody knew Anthony Davis is great, but now people think of him on another level, a higher level. That's something LeBron is able to do, and that's something that Luka is going to have to ascertain. Like, people still think LeBron is the greatest, and he's showboating and carrying that team, right? But people think higher of Anthony Davis, and that's what a skill that Luka is going to have to develop. You got Porzingis on your team. You gotta figure it out. It's not that I think Porzingis is bad. I just don't think he had the opportunities to show it. So,
well, that's another inconsistent player. But I do know what you're saying, because if you look at just this past All-Star game that we just had, it was Lucas. It was his first All-Star game, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't show out. He didn't do anything, like, for real. I mean, not the way he plays throughout the season and in the playoffs.
Right.
It's the All-Star game. That's the place where you shine, where you have fun. You don't really go out there trying to win Game 7, but you out there to score points and then put on the show. He didn't really do shit. I mean, yes, he's not the most athletic, but he could score the ball with ease. Right, he didn't do that in the All-Star game. Why? Because they had guys like Curry, like Jokic, like, really out there, I guess, who knew how to play together. LeBron. Well, no, LeBron didn't play that much, but still. Yeah. No, LeBron didn't even play.
Yeah.
No, LeBron didn't even play, but still.
So I left. I'm gonna leave some space. I left some space.
Playing All-Star this year?
He played, but he played some sparing minutes. He didn't really.
He kind of hurt or something like
they
that.
just saving his. They was trying to say this.
I kind of forgot about that though. That's why.
And he didn't even want to be there to begin with. That was the whole thing too.
No, right.
Since we on the subject of LeBron, I know I've been on Facebook. I've been seeing your LeBron takes. Yes. So I got two topics that I'm gonna let you go in on LeBron. So the first one is the smaller topic. LeBron is changing his jersey number to 6, from 23 to 6 again. And the Brown sexuals think, oh, we're gonna get the 6 from Miami now. LeBron is back. Y'all don't know. Don't underestimate the king. What is your response to people who think a magical jersey number change is gonna make LeBron better?
I mean, well, we briefly mentioned that how that affected Paul George, right? Leaving that 24. But here's the thing. LeBron is too damn big to be relying on the jersey number change. And what I mean by that is people always love to say LeBron can play any position, right? He can play any position, he can guard any position. So why does it matter what number's on his back? Personally, let go of that 23. That don't belong to you. That do not belong to you. You should not even started with that. I mean, yes, when you was a rookie in Cleveland, 18, 19 years old, yes, go ahead. You was trying to prove yourself. After you left Cleveland that first time, it's like, bro, you should have just stuck with that 6. Right. You shouldn't have come back to Cleveland and put on that 23 again. You shouldn't go to, LA and put that 23 on it. No, like you're really disrespecting that. So yeah, go ahead and change that. I don't think it's going to change shit. I don't think it's going to change anything. I don't think he's going to do anything. A lot of people talking about he's going to get his vengeance next season. No, he's not. He just proved to us that he cannot do it without really superstar help. Dennis Schroeder, is that how you pronounce his name? His last name, Dennis Schroeder. He didn't show out in all the games, so he was definitely overrated. You know what I'm saying? So LeBron is probably going to get rid of him. He's definitely getting rid of Kyle Kuzma because everybody knows LeBron goes to, it's LeBron's word that goes. Like, it don't even matter what they say. Yes, Magic Johnson is organizing. LeBron he gonna clean house. He gonna clean house. I don't know what he gonna do. Anthony Davis has a spot guaranteed for sure.
Nobody else on that team is safe.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody else. So I don't think he's gonna do it. There are not that many free agents that definitely can provide LeBron the help that he needs. Because I mean, statistically and historically speaking, LeBron been the player with the most All-Star help ever. Right. Ever. Like, he's had the most All-Star help from guys like Derrick Rose, who, yes, you know what I'm saying, Derrick Rose is my favorite player. So, but he was plagued with injuries, to other guys who probably only had one All-Star appearance. So he's definitely had a help. He can't do it without the help, especially if they disappear like Dennis Schroeder and Kyle Kuzma, like we just saw. And he doesn't take losing very well. I mean, I don't think any athlete really does, but nonetheless, LeBron isn't the guy to step up and say, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like, he'll do it one game and he'll do it 2 games, and people always let us say, I'll look at his numbers statistically. Like, yes, he did that. Like this last one, when they lost against the Suns, he led both teams in every category, I think, right? He had the most points on the Lakers, the most rebounds, or etc. He was the man. And when I looked at the Suns stats, it's like, okay, I get that. But you wasn't able to get your teammates involved. You wasn't able to, you know what I'm saying, get second chance points off your rebounds. You wasn't able to, distribute the ball as well as you should have. And he got outscored, yes, by Devin Booker, definitely. So if you're not scoring efficiently, get your other teammates involved. I mean, again, Dennis Schroeder, he's overrated. I don't think he can play at that high caliber just yet. But if LeBron is the point guard that they make him out to be, that can get the ball in anybody's hands at the perfect time, LeBron could have been. I don't want to say he made him, but he definitely gave Larry Nance Jr. a push. I mean, you know what I'm saying? In Cleveland, he definitely gave him a push. He was the man distributing him the ball, and that's why eventually Larry Nance became known all over the league. So he should have did that to the Lakers. All in all, no, that jersey's not going to change anything. Why? Because he just showed us what happens once his teammates, vanish. He can't do it on no. Nobody can to say. Nobody can, but he needs some help.
Yeah. So then another thing that came up with after the jersey switch, which some people see as an excuse, is him saying basically the season started too soon. So for those who don't know, the finals kind of ended, I think, last year in August, September, September or something like that.
The season started in October.
The end of October or November, they had less than a month off. And so LeBron was saying having less than a month off is affecting all these injuries. You got all these all-stars who were out or whatever. And it was a whole list of all-stars of people who didn't play in playoff games that were out. And he was basically saying that it's kind of the league's fault for trying to rush the game back. And that was the reason. And the league kind of came back out and was like, actually, no, everything is kind of on track. Injuries to all-stars are on track. All of this stuff is on track. It really wasn't the start date. So do you feel like LeBron is making an excuse with the start of the season where, he's saying he just didn't have time to be healthy?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, yes, you cannot ignore the fact that all these guys is out because of injury, including James Harden, who just came back, and Kyrie's still out, and Anthony Davis. What do they call him? Anthony Street Clothes Davis. You can't Kawhi, like you can't overlook that. These are all-star guys, all-star caliber. However, everybody else is playing the same amount of games. I mean, well, not really everybody else. I don't think everybody plays 82 games a season. Somebody might play less. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, though, for you to be LeBron James and for you to be the guy to, be the man in the arena, you don't have any other choice. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any other choice. When you look at the guys in the 90s, like Mike, like Jordan, and a lot of people can debate, and go ahead and write the comments down below. Yes, he played with the flu game and he was still out there supporting Pippen. You know what I'm saying? He went out there though. He didn't make that excuse. Yeah. Jordan played 82 games, more than a handful of times. So I don't think it's an excuse how long time you have off. I'm gonna go back to another guy I love, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is injury plagued, and a lot of people, when I spent some time looking at footage and looking at sort of expert analysis take on why Derrick Rose had a lot of injuries. I think it was bad karma, but that's another story. Some people might say it's because of the way he dunked the ball and then landed. He put a lot of stress landing on one foot, kind of like Westbrook too. So when you got this amount of money, this amount of fame, this amount of pull, to where you got people, specialists, doctors, athletic trainers that are telling you, hey man, don't be doing that. You're going to fuck up your body. I think it's in your best interest not to do it. Yes, things happen, and God forbid, something like that event that fucked up what was it, Gordon Hayward, right, with his ankle. Freak events of nature happen like that, yes, but when you are playing for the best league in the world, you definitely have people around you that are giving you tips and telling you how to take care of your body. If you do not follow these tips, you are just making yourself more liable to get hurt, to get injured. And that's, that's selfish to me. I was telling Bowie last night, I don't know if you caught that, Michael Bowie, if you're watching this, fuck you. But I was telling him last night, I am an athlete. Every Saturday night, I'm an athlete. I go out there and I play. You know what I'm saying? But I also know I got too much liquor and smoke in my lungs to be out there playing, you know what I'm saying, all 4 quarters. So as soon as I start my body feeling like, I'm about to, throw up or I got a cramp, a Charlie horse. I'm sitting my ass down and I'm drinking some water. You know what I'm saying? I'm not pushing myself out there because I know what's going to happen because for us, at least anyway, down here is the start of our season, our Division 3 season. So, I got a long way to go still. I don't want to put myself in a position because I decided that I'm going to drop 40 tonight, even though it's like the first game of the preseason. No, you know what I'm saying? So he's making excuses definitely because when you look at some of these guys again, that are all-stars, definitely if they're all-stars, they definitely have a team around them that's been giving them tips and all types of, just safety regulations on how to proceed about their movements. I know that's what they did with Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, he's always been the guy to come out and play. He don't give a crap about none of that. He don't care about what you got to say. He's going out there and playing, kind of like Allen Iverson, but he didn't really listen to a lot of what they told him. You got to land softer on your feet. You got to make sure you land on both feet and not put a lot of the stress on just one leg, one ACL. He didn't do that. He's suffering the consequences of that now. Right. The same thing can be said for a lot of these other guys. Kyrie, this is not his first injury. You know what I'm saying? James Harden, this is not his first injury. Kawhi Leonard's been a durable guy, yes, for the most part. But he's been criticized about that.
I'd argue he hasn't been durable. I'd argue he's been pretty injury prone. The reason he left San Antonio was because of injury concerns. He's been dinged and nicked his whole career. He's durable in the moments where it matters, but for the most part, he's been hurt in a lot of scenarios.
But that's the thing, though. In San Antonio, I mean, yes, I think he got a Finals MVP in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. He didn't really need to be that guy because you had a great team orchestrated by a great coach. It wasn't just Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, but they also had Boris Diaw and they had, Danny Green, who was a shooter back then, and
Patty Mills.
Kawhi Leonard, not then. But back then it was like, yes, he's going to save himself. And I think that's something that LeBron tried to do again by not playing or maybe playing like 2 minutes in the All-Star game. So you really don't have an excuse. You've been taking time off. Anthony Davis as well. You look at what happened in the 2018 finals, 2018-2019 when the Raptors won, right? Mm-hmm. And KD came back from his injury too soon, right?
Right.
And he got injured in that finals game. It's like, yes, at some point in time, you as an all-star, as a professional athlete that's not only out there entertaining, but really this is what you live and die for, you got to think about, like, longevity. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about longevity. Like, how long are you going to stay hurt? What does your future hold for you? Like, if your contract, comes up or is over in two years and, you still haven't shown progress of these injuries, like, do you even have a future in the league anymore? Mm-hmm. That was the thing with Derrick Rose too. People didn't even know where he was going after New York, right?
Right.
And he went to the Timberwolves and then he moved all over the place and he's doing good now. I mean, he's doing better. I'm not
skip over the Pistons.
Exactly. But if you just take care of your body, if you take care of yourself, like, you should be able to endure and play 82 games a season. Especially throughout the regular season. It's not like now, because that's another thing we got to take into account.
Thompson's still out.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Well, Klay Thompson, he did his rehab and he was good. And I think
he got hurt again.
Pick up basketball or something like that.
Right.
And
he got hurt again. Because I miss Klay. Right. Especially China Klay. China Klay, hilarious. China Klay and the Brew Klay. Yeah. Brew with the hose Klay. But, yeah, I thought for a second. I was just sitting there like, why is Klay still hurt, dog? But he tore his
ACL again.
Yeah. Damn. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I bet you that's because he wasn't at 100% when he came back. I guarantee it. I'm more than willing to guarantee that,
Need my light-skinned brethren back holding it down out there, man.
So we got a couple last topics before we wrap the show. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about the Kemba Walker trade. So Kemba Walker was traded to OKC for a first-round pick. And Moses Brown and I believe one other player. I like Moses Brown. Y'all watch out for Moses Brown. He killed. On the Celtics. Watch out for him.
That was a good pickup for them.
And they get a first round pick for Kemba Walker as well. So is it a good trade for the Celtics and is it a good trade for the Thunder?
Yeah, it's a good trade for the Celtics because Kemba is Kemba. He's not a bad player, but we talk about injury prone. We talk about injury prone. Right. And you're already too little. We got to hide you on defense. Right. You don't consistently get off on offense no more because you're so hurt. Right. So, what is Kemba, 32, 33 probably?
Something like that.
So, it is what it is. It ain't, I like Kemba. And Kemba's really like that. The offensive bag is really like that. But how much is it going to be really like that now at an older age and getting more and more injury prone? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit. That it's as simple as that. They could find a more suitable younger point guard or even a more veteran suitable point guard player that can replace. Shit. Marcus Smart could play the role for now until they find what else they looking for. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they just asked out. They got Romeo Langford. They got a few little pieces. Trayvon Waters. Right. So they got some pieces there, and I'm sure they're going to pick up a free agent or two or something like that. So I feel like it's a good trade for the Celtics overall. And Moses Brown was a good pickup for them. Mm-hmm.
Especially if they pick up a bigger...
and they got Al Horford back.
Yeah, they got Al Horford back, too. That's the other player.
Well, but that's not the Philly Al Horford.
But he
not the Celtics.
Not the Celtics. Not the original Celtics Al Horford, not Philly. Philly was trash. It just wasn't a good fit. Right. It wasn't a good fit. But this the good thing this is the good thing. We know he knows Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, the system. He gonna fit right in. Savvy veteran leadership. He just gonna do what he's supposed to do. That's we don't even think he gonna be the previous Celtics stint, but. Right. Now they got Al Horford, Tristan Thompson, Moses Brown, Robert Williams III. That they was real thin in that.
They're probably gonna let Enes Kanter go too. They're gonna make some roster adjustments. They're probably gonna let Taco Fall go as well.
Yeah, that's another guy I would like to see get a lot more minutes, especially with the team they got now. Right. But yeah, Al Horford ain't bad either. Tristan Thompson ain't bad either as a big man. He did his thing in Cleveland, but. He's not top 5.
I just don't understand it from the Thunder perspective. Why you let pretty much one of your best big men go. Mm-hmm. You got off of Al Horford, so and you gave up a first round pick for Kemba Walker. Are they thinking they're gonna be able to pull a Chris Paul scenario and make the playoffs? Also, how does Kemba Walker and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander work together? No, I feel like they're okay.
I've seen on the bottom ticker already though that they agreed to work with Kemba to move him elsewhere already too.
Okay,
so if it's another, I'm like you, that was that if there's no way that's even as good as Chris Paul. Right. So
it's not gonna work. And I feel like they're already kind of studying Shai Gilgeous-Alexander growth. Bringing another point guard in ain't gonna help that. They gotta start putting the ball in his hands and letting him figure it out. I know he was hurt this year. I know he had some injuries or whatever, but I still believe in him. I think, for the Clippers, that's the piece that they really wish they hadn't given up. Because if they still had Shai on this team, we'd be having a whole different conversation. So, I just don't see how Kemba and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander work out. And if they moving Kemba to another team,
what do you get for him?
What do you get? You got to get back what you gave up. You gave up a great prospect center and a first round pick. You gave up Al Horford too, but you can get a veteran back. You're gonna get a veteran back
because, like I was saying, I'm sorry, but I literally can't think of one team that needs Kemba Walker. As bad as that sounds, I can't think of one team that needs him. Nobody's gonna need you. I damn near, and I don't want to say that because he's still starter quality, but I damn near say he might go somewhere and be a backup. Because he's still starter quality, but where in the league right now that needs him as a starter? You're an undersized point guard. We're not sure if you're still going to be the consistent scorer that you were, and you're injury prone.
Well, I'll tell you a team. I'll throw a couple teams out there for Kemba Walker before.
I agree, but I have to go with sort of what Manny is saying. I kind of have a little faith in them just because we've done seen this before in other players like Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin ain't putting up, LA Clippers numbers right now, but he's definitely doing a lot. I don't know about a lot better. He's looking more athletic than he was in Detroit, right?
Well, that's because he was selling us down the river. He didn't want to play for the Pistons, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Kemba might, I mean, if he doesn't stay in OKC, he might find somewhere else to go. Because if he doesn't find if he doesn't find anybody that really like needs him, we're looking. I feel like it's damn near like the end of his career.
I was about to say that the Knicks.
So that's why I said I'll throw a couple teams
the
out.
Knicks.
The Knicks need
to take that back.
And
he from New York.
If the Knicks, here's the
thing.
thing.
Got Rose, but yeah,
it's gonna be situational for them because for him because they gotta he's gonna get traded once everything kind of shakes out. The Knicks are gonna be in the mix. The Bulls could potentially be in a mix. That's another team that needs a point guard. If the Bulls can't get Lonzo Ball or some younger point guard like that, Kemba Walker may be at play. I'm trying to think of who else. It's a couple teams where he's not gonna get traded right off the bat.
Right.
We got to see how stuff shakes out because if a team like the Bulls or the Knicks can get Lonzo Ball, they don't need a point guard anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then that creates a hole in New Orleans. Maybe New Orleans
I was about to say that.
Maybe the Pelicans want to pick up Kemba Walker. So it's going to be a landing spot for him. It's just going to take a little time. But my problem with OKC is you're taking a risk. You don't know that you're going to get back what you just gave up to get him.
Yeah, that is true.
I know y'all sitting on a mountain of draft picks and all this other stuff, but you don't know that you're going to get back what you just gave up to get him. You gave up Moses Brown, which, again, is a great young player, and you gave up a first-round pick and a veteran. You need to recoup what you spent to get Kemba Walker, and I don't know that that's going to happen. Sure,
but, I mean, the same could be said about, again, Blake Griffin. Mm-hmm. Yes, he came in and he started playing his role, but it's like, he isn't the Blake Griffin, again, from L.A. Mm-hmm. So at what point in time does it become like we spent too much to bring you on board, but it's like we don't need you to be that guy? Because again, I would like him on the Bulls. I would like him on the Bulls. I would like him on the Bulls, definitely. And I don't know about the Pelicans, but I mean, it sounds like you could be a good fit with all them young guys, provide them some guidance, Or maybe they don't even need them to come in and take over. They just need him to come in and sort of provide that knowledge because again he's 32 years old, so
he got some landing spots. So the last bit of news before we wrap up the podcast: Naomi Osaka withdrew from Wimbledon for the same reasons, just her citing her mental health and all that other stuff. I don't really know there's much to say about it. It's just kind of like it kind of is what it is, And we kind of said our piece about the media, too. Y'all can't really just be trying to promote mental health. And then all of a sudden, when somebody's saying they having mental health problems, you just get amnesia. You just look like a hypocrite then.
Yeah, mental health is more of a serious issue than most people give credit for. So if that's what she needed to do for her own, it's all about self-preservation. So if that's what she needed to do, exactly. That you live to play another day. Right. If she's a professional player and she's one of the best women tennis players right now, from my knowledge, it is what it is. She said she need that break mentally, then hey, you can't be mad at her. Would you rather her go crazy in the midst of the tournament?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure media's sake would. That'd be something nice to see or talk about, but I'm not mad at you, sister.
I have to agree. This goes back to that LeBron thing, bitching about starting early. Like, take care of yourself. You really need to take care of yourself. Take a couple games off. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You in the gym every day, pulling golf carts and eating Wheaties, getting your weight up. But you ain't really taking care of your body. You're really taking care of your body. What good does that do anybody? So at the end of the day, you rely on yourself, So, granted, LeBron got a lot of sources of income, but still, if you want your legacy to be there, like hers will be, you got to take care of your body. Got to take care of your mental health as well. So, that's what I want to say.
Well, that's all we got for the show. Manny, thank you again for coming on. We appreciate having you. Tell any closing thoughts?
Man, I don't know. I'm interested to see what's about to shake out with these playoffs, man. If we really do get this Phoenix and Nets matchup in the finals, that will be wild. We got potential for Phoenix, Nets, Clippers. Either way it shake out. And it's going to be who do we got left? Like I said, Phoenix, Clippers,
Nets, Bucks, Sixers, and Hawks. All the teams that are alive.
Unless Philly makes it right, or none of those other teams ever been to the finals before, right?
The Nets have never been to the finals. The Suns.
No, the Nets have with Jason Kidd.
No, they didn't make it to the finals.
They didn't make it to the finals?
They never made it to the finals. The Nets are one of those teams that have never been to the finals.
What the fuck did I think they made it to?
They never made it to the finals.
I swear I thought they made it to the finals one year and got faded.
No.
When they switched to Brooklyn Nets, they had like a super team with Paul Pierce.
The Nets have
the New Jersey Nets.
They never have been to the finals. I don't think. I think they got put out in the Eastern Conference Finals because those. They did 2002.
I thought they got faded by the Lakers.
Yeah, they got faded by the Lakers. They did make it that one next year. But the rest of those, I mean, Philly has been to the finals.
You're right. Other than
Milwaukee has never been to the finals.
So my point would have been that is historically, damn near both teams are never been to the finals. So it should be interesting either way.
The Suns been to the finals.
The Suns have too with Charles Barkley, right?
The Clippers would make history. They have never been to the finals as a franchise. The Clippers would definitely make history. The Hawks, I don't think the Hawks have ever been to the finals either.
I don't think so.
So if they would be the team to make it, they would be making history too. First appearance in franchise history in the finals. Championships play. They played in '61.
Yeah, they played in the '50s.
With Dominique Wilkins
championship. So.
Oh, that was a little bit before.
Ain't talking about Dominique.
That was a little bit before Neek.
Yeah, that was a little bit.
A little bit before Neek. But the Bucks, if the Bucks were to make it, they would be another team. The Milwaukee Bucks got a couple championships. I lied. Sorry, Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson. Right. I apologize.
It's just been so long since these franchises have done this. So.
Right. It's going to be the first time in like 50 years for all of them.
So it's amazing. This is I do think the coronavirus attributed to a lot of the calamity this season. So, and working through the pandemic as a world and as a team, as the whole world, it added some kinks to the season. But it is what it is. It's life. Things happen. That's my thoughts. I'm ready to see what goes on with these finals and see what football brings us coming up.
Any closing thoughts, Manny?
No, not for real. As always, thank you for having me, and just gotta wait and see what these playoffs bring us, But like I said before, I'm calling it now. Nets in 6. So.
Well, we'll definitely have to bring you back on. We're gonna bring everybody back on after the playoffs on and kind of get their reaction to see how everything ended. My closing thoughts are. Nets in 6, and my hot take for today: Clippers winning the Western Conference Finals. I know that's a hot take.
We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have
to see about it. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's real easy. Just hit that like button, hit the comment button, hit the subscribe button. If you're looking for more shows on Boy Films, we got a lot of stuff. You may recognize Manny from Story Of that comes on Friday, and I'm sure Manny will have some other projects going on in the future. So be on the lookout for those. Check the page out. Check out all the other stuff we got going on out. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all the next time.
21-0, baby.